Big up yourself.
Hi guys, thank you so much for clicking on this video. I wanted to do a little breakdown or share my thought process on the interview Gade done with Abigail Asante and just have a little discussion on that as I normally do. I was just having my own little opinions to myself, so I thought, hey, why not share it with you guys? So let me know your thoughts in the comment section. If you are new to my channel, feel free to hit the subscribe button, and also if you wanted to support my channel furthermore, in the description is my PayPal and my Cash.app. The interview was about an hour or so long. He titled it, "Why Did You Do That To Me?" It was a very interesting interview. Just gonna go off random, I liked the fact that he kept in some of the unseen bits. That was quite nice and quite personal, switched it up a bit. Why I particularly found this interview interesting, you could again see that this one was quite personal. I actually remember the video that they were referring to. Wow, time flies, my goodness. I remember when that whole thing came out, when the whole receipts were released from his phone and the conversations, and it was a really big thing. Although I wasn't even in the situation, I could feel the pain. Like, even as I speak about it, I'm like, wow, like actually listening to Abigail and seeing her mannerisms, her body language, her facial expression, you could see the after effect. Like, you could see the damage it had caused her. It is true, like she is one that is quite quiet. When I think about it, actually, even though she does music, she's still quite quiet, but I think that there is a reason for that. I wanted to specifically focus on the forgiveness aspect of the video. I feel like that was the canopy of the video, the beauty blanket of the video. Abigail comes across to me as one of those people who are the ones that are always there for people, the ones that are the listeners. They're the ones that everybody lays their burdens on and they just take it, and even if they're going through things, they never really find that safety place where they could just talk. And the one time that she did it, it kind of bit her in the back. The time when she was venting to Gade and the other party, and obviously it was used against her, and it was kind of like, I finally can confide in people, and that's what she did. But it was like those times when you finally do something, people tell you all the time, you need to open up, you need to talk. The minute you open up, something bad happens, and it's like, yeah, this is the reason why I don't open up. I don't know if anybody noticed, but it kind of reflected in this interview a little bit. I understand that the interview, like Gade explained, is about him getting answers. This is almost like an open diary. That's how I see it, an open diary where he can be transparent, where he could be honest, where he could be truthful, and where he could face his demons, and he's allowing us in with these interviews. I feel like a big part of the interview, just like he said, is personal, and I kind of saw that a lot in this video. I felt like during the video you could see Abigail's body language, you could see that she was hurt, she would look down quite a lot. It was almost like she was on job. She spoke like somebody who had been trained to do interviews. It's like you say just enough and then you put a full stop, like you don't say no more. Just conclude what you're gonna say and you don't say no more. And I feel like a big part of that was because of the past. She had her barriers up, she wasn't going to be vulnerable, and even when she shared her personal life, even when she shared those moments that triggered her, she knew how to not sink, not let go too much. It was almost like he asked a question, she answers it professionally, and then she had to say something to reassure herself, to reaffirm herself. And it was done especially in the moments where she opened up. She was like, but you know, I'm strong. She had to clothe herself back with confidence, and I love that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. So she should be like that. I never really thought so much of it until I watched the interview. But I'm glad that Gade kind of spoke about it himself, how much that fake narrative had been painted against her and the damage that could have caused her. The question that he asked her at the end, he said, how would you say, I'm going to paraphrase, how would you like to clear that up, the narrative that was painted? And I feel like that question should have been reversed to him. That question shouldn't have been directed to her. That question should have been, I'm going to clear this up now to all of my viewers, everybody listening. He did say it during the interview, but rather than asking her that last and final question regarding that situation, he should have said, that was completely fake. I created that narrative and I want to say I am deeply sorry, and really shower her with accolades. I don't know if you guys noticed, but in the end, when he was speaking into her, it was kind of like it broke down some of those barriers. I kind of felt that emotion where she was just like, you know, when somebody's like, you finally can see the true me, and I'm glad that you letting people know like what you genuinely see about me. And sometimes that can make you cry because it's just like, wow, like I've actually been on my own, and I don't know if you understand what that did to me. And she kept on repeating it a few times where she was literally like, there was nobody, like there was nobody. I don't think you understand the things that I had to go through, the things that I had to endure. I'm glad that they can get to the point where they can talk about forgiveness. The crazy thing about forgiveness is that sometimes, especially within Christianity, as she was speaking, you have no choice but to forgive, because forgiveness is a fundamental attribute or characteristic that you have to carry. Or you can't claim to be a Christian and then carry unforgiveness. It wouldn't be reflective on your religion, your belief. So either way, you have to forgive. And that's one of the most painful things about Christianity, is the fact that I always have to be the one to forgive, you know, and I don't have a choice but to forgive. But it's important to remember that that doesn't take away the pain, and that doesn't mean that that person can't express their pain just because they're forgiven. Psychologists generally define forgiveness as a conscious, deliberate decision to relate feelings of resentment or vengeance towards a person, regardless of whether they actually deserve your forgiveness. Forgiveness does not mean forgetting, nor does it mean condoning or excusing. And I love that because, number one, it doesn't mean forgetting. And I think in that interview, it was clear that she had not forgotten. She's forgiven, but she had not forgotten. And I do feel like that interview was extremely hard for her, but I just feel like she just had to do it. She had to do it for her own conscience, and she just had to do it for her own peace. And it was a good way for her to clear her name off of that. Like she said, that attachment stays with you forever, you know, even though that happened a long time ago and people have moved on. There's new drama all the time, so with new drama, people forget about the yesterday's drama. But still, whenever people are gonna think Abigail, they're gonna think, oh yeah, that girl and that drama and that event. So that negativity sticks with you. And when you look at her lifestyle now, it's clear that she was never really about that life. She was dragged into that life. And that's why the fruit of the Spirit is so important. The fruit that you carry, your characteristic, because your characteristics basically is a reflection of who you truly are. It's not about what you say, your words. No, words sometimes can be meaningless. It's about what you show. It's about your actions, what you do. One of the things that I learned about forgiveness, and I always use this whenever I feel like, oh, do I want to? Unforgiveness is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. At the end of the day, that's going to affect you more than the other person. In other words, it's not as easy as it sounds to just forgive. But with forgiveness, you know that you're releasing yourself, and in the end, you will be able to move forward. So I love that they brought that to the table and brought that conversation. I felt really sad. Like, I felt really sad for Abigail because it brought me back to that time when I actually did watch that video that Gade done. And I was like, wow, like you actually made all of that up and you nearly destroyed the girl's life. It's just crazy, man. Like, it is insane, guys. Like, it's insane. Let me know your thoughts in a comment section. Thank you so much for tuning in. and I will speak to you guys in my next video. Don't forget to switch on your notification bell so you're notified whenever I post.